Hello everyone, welcome to another TurboGrafx-16 mini hacking related video as far as Hakchi 2 CE work in progress for a future update for the core graphics, PC engine, and of course the TurboGrafx-16 minis. I'm going to show you a few things, but we're going to do a default emulator, M2engage test today. We have folders. I have folders set up for Nintendo Entertainment System. And look at that, there's no jittery effect like on the NES and SNES folders like we used to have. This is seamless here, and hopefully we'll be able to get this going on the NES and SNES, but I mean, it's kind of hard to work with the default interface. It's just what it is. We also have Nintendo 64, and you'll have like a good half dozen Nintendo 64 cords, which are going to be playing 99.5% of the games effortlessly. We have arcade. We could do like Death Smiles with FBO Neo Extreme. You're going to need like virtual RAM for that, particularly. Double Dragon with Main 2003 Extreme. And Mushi Himasama, another great Cave shmup. I mean, Pro Gear is also made by Cave, and sometimes you might mix up the publisher and the developer. Like Capcom published Pro Gear, but of course Cave developed it. We got Dreamcast. And right here, you can run Ikaruga. I mean, I'm going to show you this real quick. I mean, because you want to see this treasure for the win here. You can run Dreamcast very nicely here. And this is with Flycast Extreme. And again, awesome stuff there. I love Treasure. They made Ikaruga, Radiant Silver Gun, Guardian Heroes, and of course, Gunstar Heroes. I mean, what other ones? Alien Soldier. What are some other Treasure games you like? Mischief Makers, and of course the Nintendo 64 as well. And some of these people were actually previously part of the team for Konami that made Contra 3 Alien Wars. And there's even a McDonald's Treasure Land game on, of course, Mega Drive, which I don't think I've actually bothered playing, but Treasure made it, so maybe I gotta try it. Game start. I'm a big fan of this game. The fact that you have like light and dark, and you can actually swap between them, and there's a side-scrolling action platformer, which is a little bit like a Metroidvania game, called Outland, and you can play it on like PS3, Xbox 360, and I believe it's on Steam too. But look at it, I'm light, can't get hit by the enemies, but I can switch to dark, and whatever color you are, you're actually able to detract from the enemy fire. Just like light, right there, light fire won't hurt me, so I can actually just let the bullets go right through me. And there's a little bit of a bug on the real hardware for this particular game, as well as on Dreamcast and such. The fact is, if you end up losing ability to control your character, don't fret. Just let the controller sit there, and it only happens occasionally, but you'll regain controller automatically after like about 15 to 20 seconds. But I might have control here. Let's see. There we go. I got it. I'm good. And by the way, I got this game for only $10 in a Walmart bargain bin, along with Red for PS2 and Dreamcast, mind you. I got Red for PS2, and I got this particular game for Dreamcast. But awesome game. I mean, we're running Dreamcast like awesome. By the way, if you compress this game, it only takes up about 25 megabytes of data, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It is an awesome game. We're going to do some more default emulator stuff right after this. So this is running beautifully. Almost full speed mode activate. And yes, it took a considerable amount of effort to get Dreamcast running as well as it does. The Ikaruga never ran this well in earlier releases, but I kept jamming back at just like Main 2003 Extreme, and of course Ludicrous at 64 Extreme, which is my personalized score. Kind of a little bit of an homage to the movie Spaceballs and the Gone Plaid. Whoa! We got this. I meant to turn dark. I pushed the wrong button, folks. There we go. Get to that darkness. Imprisoning me. Oh, that's the absolute horror. Can I live? I cannot die. Have you heard the new Metallica song? Actually, not too bad. Kind of a step up from some of the other stuff I've heard over the last few years. I mean, a lot of people who are hardcore fans, Metallica stopped being as good with the Black Album, but I've always liked all their stuff. I mean, Garage Days, Brave Resistance, all that fun stuff. I've always liked everything, and I've always just loved having the entire collection of all their music. Somebody that I went to school with actually won a contest to develop the cover art for the Black Album of the whole thing. I'm not even going to tell you what the Black Album actually is. It's a blown up, like a microscopic version of like a body fluid. It's kind of ridiculous that they actually did that. Okay, let's take this out. I died once there. Let's try beating this stage. I love this minute to learn lifetime to master thing where, like, basically if you continue, your score reset. Okay, we're good on Ikaruga. Oh, great. I still got to do this form. Okay? Light, dark. Look at that. Light, dark. Very, very cool stuff indeed. Light. Got them homing things coming at me. I can just, I'm going to pick the lesser two evils, which fire yes to actually dodge. Almost done. Okay. Whoa! Almost did this entire stage in one guy. There we go, folks. Beat the stage. Now we can go into RetroArch, and again, this is the new, we're going to quit here. Wow, Ikaruga is one of the best in the accolades of best shmups ever made. I mean, Radiant Silvergun, Gradius, R-Type, Ikaruga. I mean, what is your personal favorite shmup of all time? Let's go back to the main menu here. And with the update in the mod hub, you're going to be able to get the easy overclock, which will allow you to basically upgrade your clock speed, should we say overclock your speed, to 1.344 gigahertz on the NES, SNES, TurboGrafx Mini, and of course the Mega Drive 1 Mini. Okay, and we're going to go back to the main thing here. We can do many default emulator games, such as the PCE ports of Afterburner 2, Ninja Gaiden, aka Ninja Ryu Kenden. And I like this because it actually has a very, very nifty color palette. And this is a perfect example of seeing the awesomeness of the color palette. Look at that beautiful, beautiful artwork as it enters the system. Okay, there are 482 colors that are displayed simultaneously, and Nintendo does not have this many. I mean, Nintendo had like Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, etc. But this had so many crazy color palettes. I mean, look at the shading and how many colors are on screen at once. This is beautiful. And some games showcase it better than others, but this is great. I mean, there are just so many great arcade to home ports on the TurboGrafx-16. I mean, surprisingly so, one particular game, Ninja Spirit, is actually the first 5 out of 5 game in GamePro ever. I mean, it has a great arcade to home port. It is almost spot on to it. Let's not keep getting hit here. Let's do our little Batman style stuff. Come on, get out of my way. Oh yeah. Plays well. It has really good music here. You can hear some bass if you have a system going on here. Really good sound chip as well. Really digging it. One thing that I find is kind of awkward though, see that parallax scrolling in the background there? That's one thing that Earthworm, Jim Power 3D actually has an issue with that, where it's like reverse parallax scrolling on Super Nintendo, whereas the TurboGrafx CD version and the Amiga versions are spot on perfect. We're going to go into the main menu here, return to menu, yes. We have Outrun that works, Thunderblade works. You can actually enter RetroArch by doing this, and there's the new RetroArch interface right there. Hopefully you guys and gals like this. You can use Ozone if you don't want to do this, but that's going to be the interface I plan on using. I think I got it to look pretty nice. And this is a Lamborghini Countach from 1978. I mean, the 1984 model was actually kind of modified to be in the TV show Automan. Remember that show? Automan, fun show. Only 8 episodes like Manimal, but these are shows that I remember as a child, and I can never forget them. I love them 80s shows. We have Aero Blasters using the default emulator. Let's do that. Enter Q. Amazing artwork again. Look at that. Bam. And don't get any ideas to do any kind of like perverted stuff, proverbial perverted stuff, and have it insert into your system. Okay? Let's do the Aero Fighters, Aero Blasters. I keep thinking of Aero Fighters, which is actually a Neo Geo game. This is actually Aero Blasters. And by the way, your legally dumped ROMs should be no intro because they actually have better compatibility and reliability, and they work with patches and cheats, etc. versus the good set, which have headers and may not load. Like a game like Bloody Wolf will not load if it's a good set variant. And I've been working with TurboGrafx-16 emulators since the 1990s. Actually, when they first started doing like the Magic Engine and getting, where you could burn a CD-ROM or make a clone of your original game with alcohol stuff and such. You could actually run it in there, and they made it where you had to use a CD-ROM and a drive. I modified it to the point on my computer where I was able to do a virtual drive with like alcohol stuff and of course the daemon tools and such. We have Verzonk, which is a default game, runs fine. Alien Crush default. Andre Panza Kickboxing. And there's one thing I have to give out here. There's a little bit of a transparency thing here where I'm going to tell you the kind of bugs and issues that I've encountered as far as testing. And this happens on various platforms. Like this might be fixed up for a release, but if you exit games, sometimes you might not have music on the main menu. It occasionally happens. And on some sports games that I tested with the default M2engage emulator, there's been slowdown. So this game, Andre Ponce Kickboxing, I noticed there's no slowdown on it. Battle Royale actually went to a black screen, didn't load at all. So that's one game that doesn't work. The Japan version might work. We have Blazing Lasers, default game, aka Gunhead if you want to run the MAME, etc. version. Fantastic game. Listen to the music. The music is so awesome. It sounds like Sunsoft, like Blaster Master, Gremlins, and all the Fester's Quest, all of awesome games music. Bloody Wolf, a.k.a. Battle Rangers. Every arcade game typically has like an alternative title. I mean, Double Dragon's the same all worldwide, but Bloody Wolf is also known as Battle Rangers. Look at that amazing artwork there. It makes me feel like right into the game. But this kind of reminds me, presentation-wise, of like the original Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge on the original Nintendo Entertainment System, of which Hideo Kojima had absolutely nothing to do with neither of them. He did the MSX versions 1 and 2, however. But fun stuff here. Codename, blah, blah, Eagle. Okay? Check this out. The music is awesome here. This kind of reminds me of Colonel Troutman from Rambo movies. I love Rambo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're all fun movies. I have them on Ultra 4K Blu-ray, and they're beautiful things indeed. I love my overhead games like Shock Troopers on Neo Geo, Mercs, which is made by Namco for arcade. Let's check this out here. Great music, great gameplay. And look at that. I mean, even Mega Drive and Super Nintendo kind of like censor stuff. There's violence going on here, folks. Thank you. Great music. There are many hostages. Okay. Can I? Yes. Shotgun. Let's have some fun with the shotgun here. See how the shotgun plays out. Bam. Oh, yeah. That is beautiful. Great game. Definitely one of the best in the accolades of TurboGrafx-16 and arcade games. Okay. So this is another great game we're playing. Put this on your list of one of the best games to play. And I love being able to use like the turbo fire button. We're going to go back to the main menu, try a few more games here. I'm going to go through some of my favorite games on here. Bomberman, for some weird reason, they don't have Bomberman on the default system, but they have Bomberman 93 and 94. They have Bonk 3. They don't have Bonk 3, but they have Bonk's Revenge and Bonk's Adventure. And one thing that's very interesting, just to give you a little bit of a display of the color palette, play Bonk's Adventure, which has 482 colors on screen, versus the NES version, which looks like a turd was dragged across the floor by the butt of a puppy or dog on the carpet. That's what the NES version looks like in contrast to Bonk's Adventure on the TurboGrafx-16. We have Boxy Boy, which is a puzzle game. Bravo Man, which is a bit like Sonic Blast Man. Kadash is actually better on the TurboGrafx-16. This is the best home port of the game. The Mega Drive version is nowhere near as good because you can only use 2 characters. This one, whereas you could use all the characters from the arcade. It is awesome. Champions Forever, while it has Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, all that, it unfortunately has slowdown. That's one thing I know. Some of the sports games have slowdown. Chase HQ is a great title game, runs fine. Chuman Fu default game. China Warrior is an awesome side-scrolling game. It's on the default system, but it's also known as Kung Fu, the Kung Fu, mind you, for the Japan version. Crater Maze is a puzzle game, a little bit like Bomberman, etc. Cybercore is a shmup. Darkwing Duck is a side-scroller. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like stuff like TNT Surf Design crossed over with a platformer. Davis Cup Tennis has a little bit of slowdown. Dead Moon is a shmup. Deep Blue is a shmup underwater. Devil's Crush is like the alternate brethren of Alien Crush. Dino Force is an interesting game because it is actually a game which is made roughly around 1993, but resurfaced in 2022. Kind of like Dinosaur Planet, the Star Fox game, which was supposed to be on Nintendo 64, but ended up inevitably being canceled, and they kind of used the game on the GameCube. But look, interesting. It has a little bit of like how they have the word things like Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, violet, blah, 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 stuff like that. Or like my very educated mother just served us 9 pizzas. You can know all the planets of the universe. You know, minus Pluto now because they changed it to a star, apparently. And of course, you have Little Rock, Arkansas. You know, little word cues to help you remember stuff. But cool stuff indeed. This game runs great. It's a beautiful game for what it is. Some people, you know, have had mixed opinions on this game, but it's a great shmup. It has good gameplay. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it nonetheless, and these people did a great job resurfacing this game. I love about any shmup there is. I mean, I'm just a big, hardcore shmup fan, racing fan, shmup fan, all that fun stuff. But go back to the main menu, try a few more games. What else do we have? Double Dungeons is actually a badass game. I had this on the real system, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an anecdote story about how I got my TurboGrafx-16 system. I worked at Video Game Exchange many years ago. Somebody came in with a box load of Who cards, a Turbo Duo. Yes, not the TurboGrafx-16 or the Core Graphics or the PC Engine, but the actual Turbo Duo, which is able to run all the CD system, had the System Card 3, and it was able to run everything. This was a very expensive system. We weren't able to take it in, but I actually just said, hey, dude, what do you want for this? He told me, I gave him cash for it, and I never looked back. And luckily, they allowed me. My manager allowed me to use my own hard cash to buy it. I would have been very disappointed if we have to turn it away. But here, I like the fact that you can actually choose between all these dungeons. And look at the background where it's all red with the lines, like kind of graphy there. You might want to use graph paper when you're doing like Mafia Conspiracy, Go-Go 13 for NES, as well as games like this or Wizardry, where you're like in 3D, or even Phantasy Star for the original Sega Master System. Listen to this amazing music. This music is awesome. That is very catchy. Green Slime! Like right out of Can't Do It on Television, circa 1982, original Nickelodeon kids, right? I watched Nickelodeon all the way from Black Beauty to Third Eye way back in the 80s, up to the point of Hey Dude, Salute Your Shorts, Clarissa Explains All, Alex Mack, I mean, what else shows you? Pete and Pete, remember the Adventures of Pete and Pete? Even like the Josh Drake show and all that. But yes, this game is pretty fun. Fun stuff indeed. It's running awesome. Like very smooth and seamless there. A lot of green slimes. Like Dragon Warrior here. Remember when they gave Dragon Warrior away for free with Nintendo Power? Oh, wait. Giant leech attacks. Bam. And I love the fact that you can actually level up too. Like I have HP 5, but I can level up if I take a few more enemies. See my HP just went up to 24. Awesome stuff there. But Double Dungeons, definitely a great game worth checking out. You could use save states for some of these games too. Hopefully we could use them once we add them onto the main thing. Dragon Spirit, which also is made by Namco, has a sequel to it as well. Do you know what the sequel is? I'm going to do a little bit of trivia here. For those of you who are familiar with arcade games, let me know what the sequel is, see if you get the first answer to that. Dragon's Curse is actually an interesting game in the Wonder Boy series, and an interesting tidbit about the Adventure Island and Wonder Boy series is Adventure Island 1 and Wonder Boy 1 were actually the same game, but from that point on, Westone Technologies took over the Wonder Boy series, and they made them into more of an RPG element series. And then Hudson continued the Hudson Adventure Island series, and it is what it is. But they started out as the same game and branched off into different territory here, like kind of like Metroidvaniaception or so. Drop Off is an interesting puzzle game. Dungeon Explorer is a gauntlet style game. You can do like Turbo Tap and do 4-player mode activate. Great game there. Dungeons and Dragons, Order of the Griffin. I've actually never played this game before. I tested it out, just a little bit of a preliminary test, and awesome stuff there. Let's try a few characters here. Okay, Cleric. Yes, I'm satisfied. Let's try this out for a moment here. It's another 3D scrolling game. I love these 3D scrolling games. Awesome stuff here. Very cool stuff indeed. Again, you might want to have your graph paper for some of the stuff, but I love the fact that it's actually a pretty decent Dungeons & Dragons game, because we see the Dungeons & Dragons games on Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay, this door is locked. Bust down. I'm going to bust it. Oh, I barged in on a female. She screams, "Get out! How dare you walk in on a woman without knocking?" Okay, should have showed something. Come on now. Back to the main menu. Falcon is like a 3D pilot aviation game. Fantasy Zone is a beautiful game. Tons and tons of colors. And by the way, there are 2 games on the system which are actually sports games which have RPG mode activate quest modes. And Final Lap Twin is one of these. Check this out, folks. I had this game and I just loaded it up and I'm like, check this out. I had a roommate at the time that was a big fan of RPGs, and I'm like, hey, come in here, check this out. Quest mode activate. Check this out. The music is very catchy. You just want to get right into this game. Wait till you see how this game plays out. I remember playing this for a few hours. Hello, KM. Listen to me carefully. I've taught you everything. Now it's time to prove yourself. By the way, what is your favorite RPG from yesteryear? I remember one of the first PlayStation 1 RPGs. It was actually Beyond the Beyond. I'm like, we got it. And then every time you walk like 2 or 3 steps, you have an enemy encounter. I mean, have you ever played an RPG where you have an enemy encounter like every 2 to 3 steps? Beyond the Beyond probably has more enemy encounters than any other game I've ever seen in existence of RPG turn-based combat. You can literally farm to the highest level just by walking around every 2 or 3 squares. Go, Cam. You must become the world champion. Okay, porn stash. Cam, use the code above the restart, okay? No, I don't want to have a Metal Gear-esque code. Remember the days when like your mom or dad would tell you like, hey kid, you gotta stop playing that game, then you try to write down the password? Especially a game like Metal Gear, which had your zeros and O's, which were very perplexingly confusing and mixed up. I fell asleep now. Here's 500, son. You can go to the town, you can level up all fun stuff, or you can go out and have like random enemy encounters. Check this out. Check out the enemy encounters there. Dragon Warrior S, Final Fantasy S. Hey Cam, it's me, Fast Frank. Let's go for it. Do you want to race? Yes. Okay. So it's like a little bit of a Squid Game thing going on here. I have an interesting story to tell you about Squid Game. I like Squid Game, even though it's like kind of like Battle Royale. But I was watching this new, not quite a new show, but I love like sketch comedy shows. Like I watch like Mighty Boosh and all that. I saw this little clip of a show on YouTube, and I'm like, what is this from? It ended up being from the sketch comedy show from like 2007 called Armstrong and Miller. For those in the UK who know this, it's a fun show. But they had this little skit like in season 2 called Critical Factor, and it is literally Squid Game. I mean, whomever worked on Squid Game had to have seen this because it is literally right out of Squid Game. Ghost Matter was on one of the smaller cards. It has slowdown issues on the system, unfortunately. Hit the Ice runs fine. It's like kind of like an arcade-style game. And Hit the Ice also has an RPG mode activate prototype version ROM on the NES. We have JJ and Jeff. Jack Nicholas has a little bit of slowdown. Jackie Action Kung Fu has a little bit of a jittery bottom of the screen, like right there in the bottom where it says like select game, options, run, blah, blah, blah. It has a little bit of it. I'll show you this. I might as well show you this because the game is beautiful, but it does have a jittery screen on the bottom. If you ever play like the Micro Machines made by Codemasters, great game for NES, it has a little bit of a jittery screen on the bottom too, but it doesn't have that on Dystopia right there. That's how Micro Machines looks on the FCEMM core, but on Dystopia it runs fine. A little bit of a jittery screen, so for your compatibility list here, I mean, you might want to run this on RetroArch where it doesn't have this jittery screen, but fun stuff indeed. And I love any game that has Jackie Chan, like Jackie Chan on PS1, Kung Fu Master. Yes, he is in Kung Fu Master. It's literally off of the Mills on Wheel movie, which is a great movie, complete with Mr. X on the top floor. But this game is great. If you can get past that jittery bottom of the screen, it is a fantastical game. Should have been in a default lineup, but obviously licensing issues aside, not so likely. This game is also on the Nintendo Entertainment System as well, but Jackie Chan is a great game, and there's probably like a dozen Jackie Chan games out there. And here's Blasphemy. Why the hell is Keith Courage not on the default lineup system? I mean, it is a great game that came with the system. I love my default games that come with various systems like Alex Kidd Miracle World for Sega Master System, Keith Courage and Alpha Zone for TurboGrafx-16. And this is not a game that, I mean, when they showcase this game, they always show the cool parts, but watch what happens when you start the game. It starts out like Wonder Boy. It's kind of slow, but you keep going to the right, it gets a lot better really quick. You can go into these rooms, talk to people, level up, upgrade, buy better swords, all that fun stuff. I just want to get to the stage, just show you what it's all about, but we want to get some blast processing style thing going. Oh, we got these type of platformer sections. Oh, jeez. The first game I ever played that was kind of like this type of platforming was actually Jungle Hunt, aka Jungle King. They couldn't call it Jungle King in the United States because it was kind of like a riff on Tarzan, which it clearly was. Whoa! And this is the type of game, like, once you get used to the game, you want to, like, level up and farm, just go back and forth and let enemies, like, respawn, kind of like in Mega Man 2. And sometimes enemies will respawn in Mega Man 2. Other times they will actually just disappear. You can kind of get them to flicker on the screen. Neon Cat time. What is that Neon Cat mode going in? But look how much faster it is right now. Check this out. And what's the latest horror movie you've seen? I saw Megan, you know, M3GAN in the theater. I love my AI movies like Child's Play 2019. Going way back to 2001, The Space Odyssey, Star Trek, the motion picture, Upgrade. What other AI, artificial intelligence, going AWOL, off the deep end, balls to the wall type of movies have you seen? I'm trying to think of another. Oh, the movie called Her with Joaquin Phoenix. That was an interesting one. Demon Seed, going way back, an earlier Michael Crichton story. Or, sorry, Dinar Kuntz. Dinar Kuntz, if I remember correctly. Sorry. Very cool stuff indeed. Liking this game. And I love the fact that this is actually working on here. But Michael Crichton did some interesting earlier horror, like Coma and all that. But he also went on to do, like, Jurassic Park. And then, of course, Dinar Kuntz did some fun stuff as well. Like the movie Watchers, which Corey Haim starred in. And speaking of Corey Haim, he was in Lost Boys, which I just got on Blu-ray as well. King of Casino works fine. Fun game. For those of you like poker and blackjack, all that. Classic, the puzzle game works. This game right here, Legend of Hirotoma, runs very slow. I'm going to give you an example of how a bad game runs on here, just so you know. It's made by IRAM, and unfortunately, even though it's a great game, I mean, you can run the arcade port fine, but this runs slow. Check it out. Almost like using the NES Advantage and running like Adventures of Bio-Billy with the NES Advantage using the slow motion mode activate. Look at it. Whoa! Kind of like Atari Jaguar. Or slow motion mode activate. Yes, this is what happens when you have some of the games like the sports games. They run in slow motion. Just not doing it, folks. Again, you can run the main 2003 Extreme version, and it runs spot on, absolute flawlessly. But I'm just showing you for transparency issues here, just to show you what works and what doesn't work. Okay? And of course, we want to have Legendary Axe work, right? Because this is one game that is absolutely blasphemous to not have on a system. Legendary Axe for the win! Okay, please work. Okay, and you can actually change the background. You can change to a multitude of backgrounds, like 4 to 5 backgrounds. Push the run button. Why not start? Love this game. Very catchy. I remember just playing it how it is. I love the way you can level up in this game, too. Seems like a harmless game, but it actually feels a little bit like Kadash, too. I wonder if this company has made any other games over the years. It really does feel like a Kadash-style game. Love this. And I love, like, when I went to stores, like, I couldn't get a TurboGrafx-16 at the time because it was, like, what, almost a $400 system versus, like, a $200 system for Super Nintendo and Mega Drive. So, mind you, I had a Super Nintendo and a Genesis, but not this or a Neo Geo. But later on, I most certainly had Neo Geo and TurboGrafx-16 for real. Love this game, though. Very fun game. Very much like Asti and Axe. And, of course, Rostin. This and Rostin. No. Oh, okay. Can we level up? Okay, I guess I meant to fall down there so I can level up. There we go. We want to be able to level up. That backtracking. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Strider, too. Maybe I don't want to backtrack. How do I get back up there? Climb the rope again? Whoa! This reminds me a lot of Rastin, and of course Rygar. I love my Rygar. I love the home version of Rygar for Nintendo better than the arcade version because I had the Metroidvania style, just like Bionic Commando and Strider as well. Damn, Spider. It's like Hickory Dickory Dock. Remember like Andrew Dice Clay and his jokes. Little Miss Hubbard sat in a cupboard, eating her cards away. Down came a spider, sat down in the spider and said, "What's in a bowl?" B? Come on. But fun game. Legendary Axe 2 is a lot like Rostin 2. And by the way, this game right here, Magical Chase, I used to own this game. I bought it for $10 brand new from Canada when this one warehouse was liquidating all the games. And the game is worth $3,000 to $5,000 now. Yes. And you know what I did with it? I didn't sell it. I gave it away for free to a friend who was a collector. I didn't realize it was worth $3,000 to $5,000, but it is what it is. It's in a good place. He still has it. Okay? Let's do rough difficulty. But yes, I own this game, $10 new, and back in the 1990s to early 2000s, I collected Sega Master System and TurboGrafx-16. I owned most of the majority of the TurboGrafx-16 USA lineup, as well as the Sega Master System. I bought the Sega Master System, and a ton of games from a newspaper ad in TurboGrafx-16. I basically used several $100s and bought like 30 or 40 games from a Canada distributor who are liquidating their wholesale thing. I got like Pac-Land. I got this game for $10. I cannot believe that I had this game in my hand. I mean, have you ever had a rare game, like even like Panzer Dragoon, Saga, etc., that you found out much later on was just worth astronomical amount of money? I mean, I had some Nintendo games like Wampum as well, which was also worth several $100s, but fun game. It looks like if you place on the harder difficulty, they become bullet sponges. I like games that have more enemies versus having bullet sponge style stuff. But we can go to a shop, like of course the game Fantasy Zone. Fun stuff there. Go back to a few more games here. What else do we have on our playlist? Military Madness, which is the game that I had. And when I first played Military Madness, I didn't think much of it. I put it aside, but later on I went back to it. It is by far one of my absolute favorite games for the system. Utopia 1 and Utopia 2 are interesting Zelda-style games. Utopia 2 is actually being developed at the same time as Zelda 3 Adventure, Link to the Past, and they're very similar. It has like Super Nintendo-style graphics. New Adventure Islands on a default system, Night Creatures, Ninja Spirit. Ordine is another great shmup. Let's try Ordine for a moment here. And again, there are just so many amazing games here. Namco for the win again. I also own this game for $10. Okay, running awesome. I cannot believe I gave up Magical Chase, though. I mean, face palm. Namco cannot do any wrong. I mean, can you name one single bad Namco game? I mean, we had our Ridge Racer, Tekken, Soul Calibur. I can't wait till Tekken 8 comes out. But as far as like horror movies, Megan was a fun movie, but it's kind of weird. You watch like the Red Band trailers and all that. There are more violence in the trailers than there are for the actual movie itself. They kind of PG-13 it to the point of being very closely approximated to an R cut. I'm really hoping that when they release it for home, it has the entirety of all the violence reinstated. R-Type is awesome. Raiden's awesome. Oh, of course, Raiden's not on a default system, so we're going to do Raiden for a moment here. And Raiden is a very difficult game. Try getting past stage 5 or 6. It gets really ridiculously hard. Okay? If there's any other games that you want to see, let me know. But I'm going to try to cover as many of these as I can. But I'm looking forward to a few more things. Like I'm probably going to watch the new Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks in the theater this weekend. It's off of, I believe, a Swedish movie called Man Called Ove. I like these kind of like melodramatic movies like, As Good as It Gets, Pay It Forward, etc. And that's what this Tom Hanks movie kind of reminds me of. But yes, this is a beautiful game. Raiden, without a doubt, is one of the best shmups ever made. Raiden Fighters is a great game as well. There's even like a Raiden game on PS5, PS4, all that fun stuff. But yes, Raiden's going to be on my accolades of games to play. I mean, it's running flawlessly, no slowdown. Runs way faster than the Atari Jaguar version, which has issues without a doubt. Samurai Ghost side-scrolling thing. Shockman, which is Shabuba Man, kind of like a Mega Man style game. Sidearms is a Capcom shmup. Silent Debuggers, Citistron, Soldier Blade is definitely one of the best shmups. Check this out. I love games like Soldier Blade, and look who made this game. We have Hudson Soft here. Okay, look at this. This is a great game, without a doubt. Look at this. I love these games like this, which were kind of like the overhead stages of Life Force. Truxton is another game that's on the system as well, except it uses the Japan game name. Oh, this music is awesome. A lot like the Blazing Laser style music. Oh yeah, TurboGrafx-16 is definitely a haven for shmups. Look at this. This is just absolutely flawless. No slowdown whatsoever. Again, I love these type of games where, like, when you continue, your score resets. So it's like a minute to learn Lifetime Master, just like pinball. You can learn the, ability to, like, get better score streaks and all that. But yes, this is a great game. Definitely in the top, I would say, like, 20 shmups of all time. And I love the music. It definitely has some great upbeat music like the Blastmaster style music. Okay, try another game here. One of the first games I ever played was Alpha Mission on Nintendo and Neo Geo. I mean, those games. Sonic Spike, Space Air, Splatterhouse is on default system. Superstar Soldier, that was on the system. Super Volleyball, Taking It to the Hoop, Tailspin, Tiger Road, Time Cruise, Time Ball, Turrican. Why is not Turrican on the default system? Come on, folks. I like all versions of Turrican. Super Turrican, and of course the amazing Super Nintendo. Has some great music. Okay, let's check this out. And you can actually play like a game very, very much like Turrican on Dreamcast. You know what game it is, which came out recently on Nintendo Switch and PS5, etc. Do you know what I'm talking about? I love this. A little bit like Metroid Contra run and gun style stuff going on here. Again, I mean, you have, like, for every game you have that might run slow, you got 10 of these games that run really, really quick. And you can't go wrong with any of the Turrican games. And the Amiga version has some amazing music. Definitely play the Amiga version, which has phenomenal music. So is the Super Nintendo version of Super Turrican. There's actually the same composer who did the music for Super Turrican and Super Nintendo, as did the TurboGrafx, should we say the Amiga version. Doesn't sound like it's the same composer on this version, though. Definitely a different composer here, I believe. Oh yeah, that is awesome. So yes, Turrican for the win there. What else do we have? Sports, TV, basketball, football, hockey. Kind of like a triage there. Taking it to the hoop. I'm kind of hoping this sports game, like I said, all sports games I've tried so far have all had slowdown. Let's see if USA Pro Basketball, taking it to the hoop, has any issues with that. Like I said, I have not found a single sports game which did not have slowdown yet, so we're going to try this out. Oh, look, it's double dribble. Just kidding. It's a different game. Taking it to the hoop. Okay. I remember playing, this is kind of funny, like, I stayed at our friend's house when I was a kid. We played, like, double dribble. He told me this funny story. Like, I was a big fan of even stuff like Child's Play, like in 1988 and all that. But he told me that he watched, Child's Play and was scared so bad that he watched a Teddy Ruxpin on VHS to be able to, like, not have nightmares afterwards. I've never been scared by a horror movie, to my recollection that I remember. I mean, I've always thoroughly enjoyed them as a kid, watching, like, the Dracula movie when I was younger. Okay, this one doesn't have any kind of slowdown. Cool. But one time when me and my sister watched, like, Friday the 13th, not Halloween, in the very, very end, spoiler alert, when he's not on the ground anymore, she freaked out and just had to sleep on my floor in my bedroom. Oh, wow. How bad. I love my basketball games, though. Come on, we could get one score, can't we? No! Stuff! Okay, at least you got some nice sports games there. You even have, like, a monster basketball game. Viggs Tactical Gladiator. Why does that look like Optimus Prime there? That so looks like Optimus Prime. Victory Run, default game. Vigilante. Why is Vigilante not a default game? I love the smash noises in this. And by the way, this is Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan all the way. This is a pseudo-sequel, spiritual sequel, successor to Kung Fu Master. But watch it begin here. This is Madonna, you know, the singer Madonna. The skinheads have taken Madonna hostage. Take the power into your own hands. By the power of Jackie Chan, okay? Look, that is so Jackie Chan. Listen to these sound effects when you hit enemies. Actually, the arcade version has a bigger boom noise than this. You play the arcade version, it's like boom, boom, pow, 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 boom. So they kind of like made it a little bit less than this. It's kind of funny though, because whoa, whoa, you can see that kung fu style thing going on there. I need my nunchucks. Oh, jeez. One thing that's kind of funny though, if you play this game, you can actually do jump kicks and kind of exploit the enemies. Look at that, jump kick. There we go. Yeah, some Michelangelo stuff going on here. Maria. That looks like a Bio Billy style reference there, doesn't it? Like, they're fans of Bio Billy. But yes, I love games like this. And Black Belt on the Sega Master System is a lot like this, as is Kung Fu on the TurboGrafx-16, a.k.a. China Warrior. But I always love these side-scrolling games. My hero on Sega Master System is also like this. Can you think of any other games? In Shadow of the Beast reboot on PS4 and Central Next Gen is also like this. A fun game. We got a couple more games to showcase. We got World Class Baseball. By the way, the other RPG game is World Court Tennis. Check this out. It's Final Lap Twin and World Court Tennis. Also made by Namco. Has an look, quest mode. Very, very cool stuff indeed. Oh, I screwed up. I'm KL this time. I'll be KL for this video. Hey, KO, I've been waiting for you. Look, little Pac-Man symbol there. Look at that password. I'm not going to remember that password with the hashtag there. Hashtag, ooh, ah. But it's all over. Evil Tennis King appeared. He took treasures of the royals. And I love any type of game that has like an RPG mode that isn't normally an RPG. I mean, this is awesome. We need this. We need a Contra RPG, a Mega Man RPG, but they kind of have like a Mega Man Battleship, which is kind of pseudo RPG. But I love when they do this. Okay. Okay. Can we go and do like a little tennis battle here? Yes. We got this. Give me a random battle beyond. Walk 2 or 3 times. There we go. I challenge you. Do you accept? Yes. Okay. Oh, jeez. Love this. I suck at tennis games. I really, really suck at tennis games. Can I get this? Can I get it? They're going to end up just destroying me. Wow, I suck so bad. I suck in real life in tennis too. But I'm really good at basketball. Basketball is my main sport. Oh, geez, that's embarrassing. We have World Sports Competition. Yo, bro.